You're listening to Little Known Chronicles. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. What if your consciousness could leave your body? And the CIA spent years trying to prove it was real. This is the story of the gateway process. In the 1950s, a radio executive named Robert Monroe began having strange experiences. He said his consciousness was leaving his body while he slept. Instead of dismissing it, he decided to study it. Monroe founded a research centre to explore what he called out-of-body experiences. It became known as the Monroe Institute, and it's still running today. Monroe developed an audio technique called hemisync, playing slightly different sound frequencies into each ear. The theory: this could sync the two halves of the brain into a single focused wave. In the early 1980s, a US Army officer studied Monroe's techniques and wrote a report for the CIA. It analysed whether this method could actually alter human consciousness, and whether it had any use for intelligence work. The resulting document became known as the Gateway Process Report. It described a structured system for guiding the mind through deeper and deeper states of awareness. The system was built around numbered focus levels, each one supposedly representing a deeper stage of consciousness, from ordinary waking awareness all the way to states. Monroe couldn't fully explain Focus 10 was described as mind awake, body asleep, a state where the body is fully relaxed and unconscious, but the mind stays alert. Focus 12 was described as expanded awareness, a state where perception was said to stretch beyond the 5 ordinary senses. Focus 15 was called no time, a state where the report claimed a person could experience awareness completely disconnected from linear time. At Focus 21, the report described something stranger still, an edge between this reality and others, a boundary the document didn't fully explain, only gestured toward. The officer who wrote the report tried to ground it in real physics, energy fields, holograms, resonance. Critics later argued the science was stretched far beyond what it could actually support. Mainstream scientists were, and remain, skeptical. There's no peer-reviewed evidence that hemisync alters consciousness the way the report claimed, or that out-of-body experiences are anything more than a subjective feeling. Around the same time, the CIA was funding a separate, better documented program called Stargate, testing whether people could remotely view distant places using only their minds. The Gateway Report was part of that same broader curiosity. The Gateway Process Report was declassified in 2003 and largely forgotten outside of niche research circles until decades later. In recent years, the document resurfaced online and spread rapidly, clipped, shared and discussed by a new generation curious about consciousness, meditation and altered states. Part of the appeal is obvious: a real government document using real scientific language describing something that sounds like science fiction. That combination is hard to look away from. It's worth being clear about what the report actually is. One officer's internal analysis and interpretation of Monroe's techniques, not a confirmed CIA program, and not scientific proof that any of it worked. Today, the Gateway process sits in a strange space between real declassified history and internet mythology, genuinely documented, yet still unproven, still debated. Whether or not consciousness can really leave the body, the Gateway process shows how far people, even inside a government agency, were willing to go to find out. So what do you think happens when the mind goes further than the body can follow?